What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Soul Milbro, and today I'm gonna be talking about one of the least, one of the easiest things you could do as an alpha player or as a new player in Nullsec or Solve Null. One of the easiest ways of making ISK, and that's salvaging Rex from ratting players, because most of the time people who are ratting it's they leave a lot of Rex behind, and it's easier for them. They generate more ISK if they just keep on hopping from one combat site to the next. And yeah, so that leaves plenty of Rex out there in space, and that's where we come in. We scoop up their Rex and we scoop up the loot, and hopefully we gain a bunch of money. Now this is the thing that I was doing when I came here in Nullsec. When I got into my corporation, they're a Nullsec corporation, and I didn't have a lot of cash. And basically within the day I was able to recoup all of the stuff that I left in high sec. So if you look at my personal assets, like all of these things in high sec that I left behind, is basically I was able to recoup all of that in less than a day, a couple hours of just farming. So what you're gonna need is you're gonna need a destroyer, any destroyer. So like pick one you like, and you're gonna need salvagers fitted on at least 5 slots. So like how many things you can target. So I can target 5 max, so I fit like 6 or whatever the fuck, as how much as you can get. It doesn't really need to be a specific number, but yeah. So you're just gonna fit multiple salvagers here, and you can put a micro warp drive or whatever, but that's not really, if you want to save as much money as possible, that's not really a requirement. You're just gonna need a destroyer and the salvagers. And one thing that speeds up the process a lot is an MTU. Now these cost around 7 million ISK, 8 million ISK, but it's gonna be really worth it because it speeds up all of your salvaging. So basically it's gonna pull in Rex close to it, so you don't have to fly in. And if there's loot in those Rex, it's gonna loot it, and then you can open your MTU after a while and get all the loot basically. So it's gonna, so here, let me just show you. So it has, yeah, anything within 125 kilometers, it's gonna suck it in pretty much. And then yeah, it's gonna suck in every wreck. So you're gonna have just a bunch of wrecks in one specific area, and you can just clean those up and make a lot of ISK. So yeah, so this really speeds up the process. So if you want to scale up your operation, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're gonna be clicking like a madman after like 5 maybe. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just gonna use 1. So yeah, so once you're in Nullsec, like how do you find these wrecks specifically? And that's the question I'm gonna be helping you with. So first off, you're gonna need to find a system that has people ratting in it, right? So the best tool that I would recommend you to check out is evemaps.land.net. So you go here, you go to like the specific region of where your corporation's located. So we're based off of Delve, so I'm just gonna put in Delve, and then I'm just gonna search for NPC kills here. So don't do the 24 hours or whatever, just pick this one because it's gonna show I think it shows it real time, or as real time as they can get it, right? So I've already chosen my system, and I just descan, and you're gonna notice that there's And if you just descan, you change your range to like the maximum and 360 angle, you're gonna see like a bunch of people. Like if you see a bunch of ratting ships, then you know that that system, there's a bunch of people ratting there. So how do you specifically find these wrecks? Oh, by the way, when you choose a system, like choose one that's not overly populated, because there's gonna be a lot of people also doing salvaging. So yeah, I think like between 500 and 800 is nice, but if you're not gonna be semi AFK and if you're not gonna leave your computer, then go for the systems that have a high amount of NPC kills. If you're gonna be watching your probe scanner like a hawk, then go ahead and do that, and that's perfectly fine too. But yeah, I'd suggest anything around like 500 to 800. That's probably like a good number to start off with. So how do you get into these sites? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open your probe scanner, and basically you're gonna take this, you're gonna open it in a separate window. You don't need the map for now. So this is how I do it, and it's kind of effective. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna save all of these, you're gonna bookmark all of these combat sites, and then once one of them disappears, you're gonna go to that specific region. So you bookmark them, you're gonna compare. So let me just do that now. Right, so I'm gonna start saving these locations. So after saving everything, you're gonna go to personal, people and places, and you're gonna look at your locations. So it's very easy. You can put this side by side, see, and it's very easy for you to tell what sites are. So if you see a site here on your bookmarks that aren't here in your probe scanner anymore, then that means that that site is done. Now I would recommend, for the sake of, you know, saving your sanity, just to bookmark hubs and forsaken hubs, because usually those are the only, for the most part, those are the only things that a lot of people would go for, unless it's a very crowded system. So the forsaken hubs and the hubs are the ones that are mostly what people run. If you see a capital ship, however, which I'm pretty sure, you know, not a lot of people are using them right now, but if you see capital ships, then Blood Havens might be run, but for the most part it's gonna be blood hubs. If you're gonna do this semi AFK, I would just recommend saving the blood hubs and the blood forsaken hubs, because yeah, or whatever your local pirate equivalent is, but it's always gonna be like a hub or a forsaken hub. So yeah, I'm just gonna go AFK for a bit, because you know, these sites, they tend to, you know, it usually takes like, I don't know, like 15 to 20 minutes before like any of these guys clear a site. So I'm just gonna watch a YouTube video for like 15 minutes and then I'll come back. Guys, so I found one that disappeared. So letter K, KBI here, it's no longer here. So I'm basically just gonna warp to this location and hopefully there's no one there. General rule of thumb, guys, if someone's already there, if it's their site specifically, then you don't wanna start putting down your MTU, because that's considered rude, because they might wanna take the loot, and it's not theirs. So there's a lot of loot here, so I just want to check. I'm gonna zoom out. If there's no MTU, I'm gonna pop down my MTU here, and then I'm just gonna bookmark that in. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna save this location and then just put MTU 1, right, and remove this location. So I can AFK if I want to. I'm just gonna leave that for a bit to suck up all of those things. Now, this is the nice thing. If you have oh shoot, my microphone was far away. So let me just reiterate that. Yeah, I found a location that was no longer on my probe scanner but was still in my bookmark, so I went there and then I just put down my MTU on the thing, my mobile tractor unit, so it'll start sucking up all of these things so I don't have to fly. So that's a beautiful thing. And once I got here, I put in a bookmark that says MTU1, and then I removed that bookmark from my current I removed the combat site bookmark so I don't get confused, because I might go back to it again and think that, oh okay, and didn't know I already visited it. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is gonna save that bookmark, and what I usually do if I had any other MTUs, assuming that I had more MTUs, is I'm gonna check for more sites that have disappeared, right? So for this video I don't have any other MTUs, but if I had more, then I would just go to the other sites that have disappeared and plop down my MTUs there, do bookmark it, and then just leave the MTUs to do their thing basically. So I'm gonna come back and conclude the video and teach you guys how to scale up from here. So yeah, see you on the next time skip. Alright, so we're back, and now after the MTU's done its thing, all of the wrecks are all in one spot where we can just easily just control click everything, and then just start spamming. So yeah, you can only target 5, but I have 6, so I'm just gonna use the 6th here, right? Fairly straightforward. You can get all of that loot, all of that sweet loot. So I salvage first because there's gonna be loot in your MTU, by the way. Yeah, so that's a good chunk, like especially if you don't have a lot of ISK. Like 2 million is pretty cool. Still worth to bring those out. However, you do have limited cargo space as you know, as a catalyst, as a sucky boy. So definitely gonna make 2 trips from the Citadel to like that's why bookmarking this is pretty important, because you're gonna have to go to the Citadel. You're gonna make like a couple trips, like 1 or 2 maybe. So yeah, we're at, I don't know, like almost 1 million now. Yeah, so I'm not even like doing this efficiently, but as you can see, it's pretty fast. So yeah, you're just gonna be stuck doing this. It's kind of boring, but it makes good ISK, and you pretty much are safe from ganks because number 1, they're gonna have to scan you down if they want to get to you, because the anomaly disappears once that site is cleared, remember? So unless like the people who want to gank you bookmarked all of the sites beforehand, which is very unlikely, right? And number 2, you're in a catalyst or a cormorant or whatever. No one's gonna risk, you know, unless they're really determined to get that kill mail. No one's gonna risk like dropping in on a cormorant, you know, trading their ship basically for your cormorant or for your catalyst. Rarely seen that, so it's very low risk, very low entry, very low barrier of entry. Basically, you can start salvaging from the get-go. So yeah, highly recommend it. And I'm gonna take these all to the hangar and see how much loot we're able to get. Oh shoot. What? Oh, okay, that's why, because it's far away. So you can have multiple tractors on the thing. So yeah, once you've salvaged everything, so we got 3 million. So that's like is right around 6 million. So you've already paid for the cost of your ship and almost the cost of your MTU just by doing one site and doing it semi AFK. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna loot all of these things. Oh, it fit. Nice. Alright. And I'm just gonna scoop up the MTU, don't forget. Scoop that to your cargo hold. And now you have, there you have it. You're done, but sometimes you won't be able to fit everything in your cargo hold, so you're gonna have to go to whatever citadel you have all of your stuff in and then come back. That's why bookmarking this is so important. Now let's talk about scaling. If you want to scale up your operations, I would suggest just getting more MTUs. And while you leave your first MTU, usually if no one else is gonna steal your stuff unless they're hostile or whatever, they're gonna shoot your MTU. No one's gonna do that, especially if you're in sov null space. No one's gonna do that. So if they see your MTU, they're just gonna move on to another site. So what you can do is once you leave your MTU there, right? Once you leave your mobile tractor unit there, you can go through and search for like all of the stuff. Where is that? Personal, people and places. So do the same process. Go to that site, leave your MTU there, and then move on to the next ones until you've exhausted all of your MTUs. And that way, one cycle, after like dropping 4 or 5 MTUs, the first one should have sucked in all of the wrecks by that point, or majority of the wrecks, and you can start looting, going back to the dock, going back to the citadel, dumping all of your stuff there and coming back. And if you want to scale it even further, you can get a Noctis. So this is an industrial ship, which pretty much is a really good salvager, but I feel like it's not needed, and by that point it costs like 75 million ISK, but I feel like you don't really need this. You can get away with a lot. You can earn a lot, like hundreds of millions of ISK just by using a catalyst or a cormorant or whatever the other factions variants are. So yeah, hopefully this helps you a lot. And if you like the video, please like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video and tell me why. Leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.